Have you ever wondered from where did the law of divorce come in and how it has evolved around the years? What happens when a marriage is not satisfactory and that is actually resulting in a failed marriage? What are the remedies that are available to the woman and how can the woman get rid of a pained marriage? In ancient times, the concept of divorce was not known to anyone. They considered marriage as a sacred concept. If we get to Manu's concept, the husband and the wife cannot be separated from each other and their marital tie could not be broken. Later, the concept of divorce came in the picture and established as a custom to put the marriage to an end. Hello everybody, I am Rusha Mukherjee, a student of Srinath Law College and presently interning with Lexis & Company. So, this is the part that we talk about the history. Now, according to Arthashastra, marriage can end if dissolved by mutual consent and should be an unapproved marriage. But Manu does not believe in the concept of dissolution. According to Manu, the only way to end the marriage was either death of the spouses. The provisions related to the concept of divorce was introduced only by way of the Hindu Marriage Act 1955 for the Hindus. But we also have the like provisions in the Special Marriage Act, in the Parsis Act, in the Christians Act. In each and every act now we have some of the other divorce laws. For the interest of the society, the marriage or the marital relationship needs to be surrounded by every safeguard for the cause specified by law. Divorce is only permitted for the grave purpose. Earlier, we did not have any provision for no-fault divorce, but now we have, like the irretrievable failure of marriage. If it is impossible for the husband or the wife to stay together, even the breakdown of marriage within 1 year is possible now. Now, according to the various theories of divorce, we find the fault theory and the no-fault theory even. Even we have the mutual divorce. In the fault theory, we get that marriage can be ended by one party because the other party is doing some matrimonial offences. Only the innocent spouse can seek this remedy. The only drawback of this theory is when both the spouses are at fault. Then one can seek this remedy of divorce. Nobody can do that. Mutual consent is when both of them under mutual understanding and they want to get out of the marriage. But many philosophers criticize this theory as this concept is immoral and leads to hasty divorce. Now we are talking about the irretrievable breakdown of marriage. According to this theory, the dissolution of marriage happens due to failure of the matrimonial relationship. The divorce can be taken by the spouse as a last resort. That is when both of them are not able to live together under the one roof. Now, if we talk about the divorce under this act, it is based on fault theory in one of the aggrieved spouses is filing a case under section 13(1). And they can approach the court of law and seek the remedy for divorce. Now, section 13(2) also provides the grounds where only the wife can approach the court of law and seek the remedy of divorce. Now, we knew that adultery was earlier called a criminal offense, but now it has been thought to only be a ground for divorce. Now, the concept of adultery may not be considered an offense in many countries, but it is actually a very strong ground of divorce. It is when there is a consensual and voluntary intercourse between a married person and another person, married or unmarried, of the opposite sex. The concept of adultery was inserted by way of the amendment in 1976. In the Sapna Ghosh versus Swadanand Ghosh case, the wife found her husband with another girl lying on the same bed and the neighbor also confirmed that the husband was committing that. Here, the wife could easily get the divorce. In Sachindanath Chatterjee versus Nilima Chatterjee, the petitioner and the defendant were married. After marriage, the husband leaves his wife in the hometown so that he can complete her studies and go on to another city for work. He visited twice or thrice a month to meet her. Later, he found that his wife commits the adultery, that is involved in sexual intercourse with his own nephew. The plaintiff approaches the court to demand divorce on the ground of adultery, and he was granted so. Now the essentials of adultery remains so. Another ground that is specifically found for women is the cruelty ground. When the woman is making, or the spouse, any of the spouses actually suffering any mental, physical or financial loss. Desertion is also very, very strong ground of divorce. Another strong ground of divorce under the Hindu Marriage Act is if that person has transferred or converted his religion into something else. We cannot live with an insane person or a mad person. And so, if our spouse has gone out of his mind, is out of his wits, we can give a plea for divorce petition. And we will be granted so. Everybody has a right to life, and we cannot be forced to stay with a person who has leprosy or a presumption of death or has a venereal disease. And in that case, we will be given a ground for divorce. The mutual consent is defined under section 13b. No petition for divorce is normally under 1 year of marriage. Remarriage of divorced person is allowed. Now we can say that in certain cases only, the divorce is allowed within 1 year, and there has to be some exceptional grounds for that. But this divorce law has done both good and bad to the society. Good that we can get out of the marriage if it has failed totally very easily, but bad in the other sense that it also has created hasty divorce and the society has become much more vulnerable now. What do you think? Let me know. That's all for today. If you like my video, please like and subscribe to the channel. That's all for today. Tata and bye bye.